Hello! Today, in this occasion, we want to present the story of a family who traveled through 7 European countries looking for the perfect Christmas market. They usually celebrate Christmas in the intense Australian summer, but this time they wanted to something different, a real winter holiday. The family said they had always dreamed of a cold Christmas because back home they usually spent their holidays sweating through the heat. And if they had stayed in Australia, if would have missed the winter magic they were looking for. They flew from Melbourne to London, and from there they traveled by train to visit Christmas markets across the 8 cities. Their goal was simple: enjoy every market and compare the experience.
Now, I would like to continue by explaining why this article is so interesting and what the family discovered during their journey. The author reported that the family had always imagined a Christmas white, cool air and real winter lights, something completely different from intense heat they experienced in Australia. The parents said that traveling through 7 countries helped them understand how each culture celebrates the season in a unique way. One important point is that the article shows how food played a central role in their tribe. They say they wanted to taste every regional dish they could find, and if they hadn't been so curious and adventurous, they would not have discovered the traditions like the Feusank Gambo, the famous flaming mullet wine from Nuremberg. The text also highlights the contrast between crowd, tourist cities, and quieter high games. For example, the author mentioned that if they had stayed only in popular places like London or Prague, they would have spent most of the time fighting the crowds. Instead, they decide to explore Luxembourg City, and they report that it felt peaceful, festive, and much more authentic. In general, the article shows how technology, travel planning, and human emotion combine to create unforgettable experiences. And if they ever travel again during Christmas, I think they will choose another small city because they learned that sometimes the best moment appear when you go off the beaten path.
Okay, after reading the article, one could argue that this family journey showed how a Christmas trip through Europe could become much more meaningful than simply visiting market. The author claims that they had always hoped for a cold Christmas and that if they had stayed in Australia, they would never have discovered the kind of magic Europe might offer in winter. She also announces that some cities like London and Prague were so overcrowded that they could have ruined the experience. However, the family praises Luxembourg, saying that this small country could be the perfect answer for travelers who have doubts about where to go at Christmas. They insisted that the city was calm, welcoming, and authentic, and the escort they had never heard of market as delightful before. The parents argued that if more people were eager to look beyond famous destinations, Luxembourg might may headlines one day, not because it sees fans, but because it offers genuine festive joy. In the end, the article clearly tries to catch the reader's attention and raise awareness of lesser known destinations. And it suggests that to find the perfect Christmas, sometimes we don't need the most famous plate, just somewhere we will be more than happy to slow down and enjoy the moment. Thank you.